Our South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibia joins us now from Johannesburg. Betty, glad you could join us on Network Africa.
Thank you, Joke.
Apart from the Zimbabwean First Lady being absent from court, what else happened today as regards this case?
We from the police minister, first of all, that she will be appearing in court. First, he said she handed herself over. Another story said she was arrested, and none of those things happened. So we were directed to the court, to the Randburg Magistrate Court. While the cameraman was outside with the other cameraman, I was inside the court. The court of first appearance, that's court 3 at the Randburg Magistrates Court. And we waited till about the time the court closed, almost 4 o'clock. She didn't show. And we spoke to some of the officials who said they're not sure. First, we heard the docket is on the way. A lot of hearsay, nothing concrete. And people started suspecting probably we're having a repeat of what happened with the Sudanese president, Omar al-Bashir. But the fact is that she didn't appear in court. Later on in the evening, we heard that his lawyers, her lawyers, were speaking with the police and trying to clear things, but no one is really sure of what exactly happened. She was supposed to, according to the agreement they had, she was supposed to come, that's like hand herself over to the Santon police station, which didn't happen. What we heard was that her lawyers were present at the place, but nobody knows where she is, and there's a lot of speculation. Would she have gone back to her country? The issue of diplomatic immunity and the like. So no one knows where she is at the moment, and we're just having the hashtag "Where is Grace Mugabe?" and a lot of speculation.
The model claims she was assaulted by Mrs. Mugabe, and yet the ZANU-PF says Mrs. Mugabe is the victim here. You know, what details do you know about this case that really tell us the truth?
So Gabriela Engels, who is about 20, she's granted a number of interviews, and she said she was, in her words, chilling with two young men and a mutual friend. She didn't even know she didn't know they were the sons of a president when the woman came in and started beating her. Those were her words. Well, she has wounds to show for it. We haven't heard the side from the First Lady of Zimbabwe. So along the line, she now took the case and lodged a complaint or a case of assault against the said First Lady at the court. But her parents haven't really said much. All they're asking for is for justice to be done. And they're a bit scared, they feel intimidated coming up against a sitting First Lady. But South Africa is a place where a lot of people, trust in the courts. And that's why she lodged a complaint. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Will she still show if she's still in the country? And will she be at the police station? Will she appear in court as well?
You did say that Mrs. Mugabe is, nowhere in sight. Whether she has returned to her country or not, no one knows. What about her two sons? Any word from them? Have they said anything about this?
No word from them at the moment. All eyes are on her. We know that the sons are studying. They're studying in the country at the moment. A few weeks or months back, we had issues with them about partying up a storm and having problems with where they were staying. But no word from the sons, who are young men as well. They're grown-ups. But all eyes are on Mrs. Mugabe at the moment to know whether she is indeed above the law or not.
Thank you so much, Betty, for your thoughts on that issue. Let's move on now. We're still talking about this case. South Africa President Jacob Zuma has admitted that there have been attempts on his life over his stance on socio-economic transformation and land reform. The president says at one time that he poisoned and almost died just because South Africa joined BRICS. That's the Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa business communities under his leadership. He said his ill wishers said that he was going to destroy his country. His comments were made to the African National Congress Cadres Forum in KwaZulu-Natal on Sunday. He said there were 3 attempts to kill him, though he did not say who tried to kill him, but admitted it was someone close to him. To one of the most heartbreaking stories to emerge from the aftermath of Kenya's elections, a 6-month-old Samantha Pendo is fighting for her life, having inhaled tear gas when police broke down the door to her parents' home in Kisumu. They fired tear gas through the crack and pushed their way into the house, where they beat the family with batons. Samantha's father, Joseph Abanja, recalling what happened, said that night police pulled him outside while others dashed in and hit Samantha and wife Lenza lying in their family bed. After the baby was clubbed, his wife began screaming and police seemed to panic. Police ignored Lenza's pleas for a lift to the hospital. It was 4 hours until the family reached help, a delay that doctors at Aga Khan Hospital in Kisumu said probably exacerbated her injuries. By the time Samantha was admitted, she has already lapsed into a coma. Now, their story is kind of similar to that of other families interviewed in Nairobi and in Kisumu, which contradicts claims by police that the only people killed or injured in violence following last week's disputed elections are looters or thugs.
One of the guy beat me, then the other one came with that stick of them, hit the baby. Then I let the baby off of my hand because she did not cry. I did not feel any movement with the baby. I started screaming.
At the time of admission, the child was critically ill, had already lapsed into coma. So we did, what we're supposed to do, and we admitted the baby into ICU, where she remains quite sick. It's quite still critical. The medical team is doing its best, in terms of turning this baby around, but she remains quite critical.
7 people have been killed in Timbuktu, Mali, following an attack by gunmen on a United Nations peacekeeping base. 5 of those who died were Malian security guards. The Malian military says the assault was repulsed and 4 of the gunmen were killed. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the attack, but the country's security has worsened since 2013, when French forces repelled allied Islamist and Tuareg rebel fighters who had held much of the north, including Timbuktu. Still to come on Network Africa. More on the ASU strike, plus HIV-positive refugees rebuild their lives in Niger. Do stay with us.